I work is done. And when you do things regularly, it does not take time at all. When you keep on delaying things, then they take time. So if you have got 3 questions or 4 questions to write, and it is not that you're going to get writing homework for all the subjects every day, you do that written part, and then you think about your timetable. What is the first period? What is the second, third, fourth? You have 5 minutes in a day, and how long will it take? 2 periods you might have got written work, or 3 periods you just have to read what was done, and your work is done. And if you keep on delaying things, it is going to be difficult. So you decide, you want to make things easy or you want to make things difficult. And studies, so you have to do, no one is going to do your studies for you. It's your life. So your studies are for the teacher, for your parents, or are they for you? They're for you, no? So you have to do that much work. Right? So you have to be regular, you have to work regularly. Okay, what are the 3 qualities that played a major role in the author's decline? Yes. So endurance, willpower, and persistence. Okay, I heard resistance, persistence. Okay. Why is adventure? Yes, Prabhu. No. No, you don't have to. It's just mentioning. I'm not asked for explain, but you should know if you have to explain them. You should know how to explain also. Why is adventure, which is risky, also pleasurable? Adventure is risky, we have discussed. But why is it a pleasure? Why is it a pleasure? Yes, it can be your own answer. If you've read the chapter very nice, you can rewrite it in your own words. It's not necessary, it has to be bookish language. Don't pick up lines from the book and write it. Yes, Vedanti?
The adventure which is also pleasurable because overcome our big challenges, then
We feel what? Yes, we feel a sense of achievement. So it is pleasurable. It gives you happiness also. When you think about adventure, you think of something very tough. Yes, lots of efforts required, hard work required. But at the end, when you are able to achieve your goal, you are able to reach the peak, it is pleasure. Right? It gives you a sense of achievement. You're able to challenge yourself. What was it about Mount Everest that the author found irresistible? What is the meaning of? Irresistible. Irresistible. Resist. Stop. Isn't it? Irresistible. You just cannot control yourself. Isn't it? So, what is there about the beauty of Mount Everest found it irresistible? Is it? What is it? What is it? Yes. So aloofness and some adjectives that he is used, isn't it? Right? What else? He loved the mountains also. Yes, the difficulties, the challenges, and how Mount Everest was there. You know, like kind of challenging the world and challenging humanity with its great height and with its magnitude and everything there, right? He's bothered about others posing a challenge, right? So that was what he found. And of course, yes, so he loved being near the mountains. He loved the mountains. And he felt he had a spiritual connection also. Yes, so all these things you can write down. One does not do it. Climb a high peak for fame alone. What does one do it for really then? If it is not to be famous, then what does one do? Why do you do it then? Why do we climb the peak? To achieve our personal goals that we have set, is it? To find out how strong we are? Yes? For happiness, okay. Adventure. Once again, also to realize nature is what? Yes, Pranay. For adventure, for admiring the beauty of nature, you climb mountain. Is it? No? Then challenge ourselves, and also, yes, nature reminds us again and again who's stronger, the man or nature? Isn't it? So, yes, a reminder that we are so small in this huge universe, and nature is temporary or eternal? Eternal. We are temporary. So, men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. These are very famous lines from the poem Brook. Okay, it reminds us again and again. Nature is always there. Okay, he becomes conscious in a special manner of his own smallness in this large universe. We just said this. This awareness defines an emotion mentioned in the first paragraph. What is the emotion? Humility. Who said humility? Very good. Full marks. So humility is the emotion, and we remember. Okay, sense of humility, humbleness, fine. Okay, so we remind ourselves that we are small as compared to this vastness of nature. Humility क्या होती है? एक we're not proud of ourselves. We should never be proud. Humble. Okay, and that is what we realize. What were the symbols of reverence? What is reverence? Prayer, faith, worship. So, what were the symbols of reverence? Yes. Yes. Goddess Durga. Before she left the, yes, relic of the Buddha. So these were the symbols of reverence. Okay. Yes. And why did they do so? Why did they do that? So to show gratitude, to thank the Almighty that they were able to achieve their mission. They were able to complete the task. Okay. Right. Now, what, according to the writer, did his experience as an Everester teach him? Who is an Everester? Who climbs Mount Everest is an Everester. Okay. Yes. Tell me. Can you tell me without looking at the book? That's the fun of giving answers. You don't look at the book. Yes, it. According to the writer, being an Everester means challenging all this power and coming over his states in his mind. Yes, so it helped him to conquer the peaks of his mind. It helped him to conquer the what? What did he want to conquer? Is it? Anybody else wants to give the answer? Yes? Yes, he realized this all this. And do all Everesters learn this? All Everesters learn this? No? Yes, so yeah. It's a mental challenge also, right? Okay, so many things you can write that, yes, so that he realized how small he was, he realized that how strong he was, not only physically but mentally also. He realized, yes, that we are, yes, there are many obstacles that he has to face before he reaches the goal. Okay, so whatever answer you find, appropriate, but don't make too much of weight. Okay, now next is, or if you write on your books only, write a sentence against each of the following statements. Do you have the book? Yes, ma'am. Then what are you doing in the class? Share a book with someone? Yes, you can sit with her. Write the answer in your notebook. Are you writing? No. Then, when are you going to write it now? Now I am going to check your hard copies of the notebook. I will not be checking online. But when I ask you, please send your notebook. You might have to make a PDF of the checked portion and send it as right. But so you can bring your notebooks and I will check. Huh? No, when you have completed your work, then I will check. So I'll give you how many days you need? 1 day, 2 days to complete your work? I also need time. Let me come out of this. I will give extra questions also. I might give you writing skill also. Okay, right? The experience changes you completely. How has it been rewritten? One who has been to the mountains is never the same again. Manisha is absent today?
No.
She has a competition. Which competition is it? It's a quiz competition. She's gone there. Okay. So I can rewrite it as one who has been to the mountains is never the same. Okay. Man takes delight in overcoming obstacles. Yes. Then how can we read? How can we explain this sentence? What you're going to do is just explain the meaning. Man takes delight in overcoming. What is overcoming obstacles? Yes, how can I rewrite it? Bolo. Man feels very happy. Okay, yes. So you can say overcoming challenges makes man happy, right? Okay. Mountains are nature at its best. How can I explain this? Mountains are nature at its best. So according to the writer, is there anything as beautiful as the mountain? According to him. So what are we going to write? So mountains are nature's most beautiful creation, right? Yes. The going was difficult, but the after effects were satisfying. Even though the journey was difficult, so the task was difficult, the pleasure we got was more rewarding, isn't it? Right? The happiness that we got, it was much more rewarding. So the adventure was challenging, but the happiness was more, or the reward was more satisfying. Write down. The physical conquest of a mountain is really a spiritual experience. What is physical conquest? Climbing a mountain. What is a spiritual experience? Spiritual, religious experience. Yes. So how can I rewrite this? Yes, so mountains, or climbing mountains is a way of connecting with God. Right? So you can write this? Yes. So you can write it in another way also, whatever way you feel is simpler, right? And you can explain it here. Next to the next one. Now look at the italicized phrases and the meanings given in practice. So the next page, have you found it?
Yes.
Mountains are nature at its best. At its best means best creation, right? There's nothing better than that. Your life is at risk. Danger. Yes, in danger. He was at his best or worst in the meeting. Best. So well behaved. Worst, so rude. Not prepared. The meeting. Now we will use these phrases here, and these blanks are there. The dialogues are there. We're going to fill in using these phrases. Okay, so you have the options. At hand, at once, at all, at alone, at first sight. Yeah, third. I'm doing the first one. Have I done the first? Who's the super fast person? So at a low ebb means not in high spirits, in a low mood. Okay. What is at first sight? First glimpse, right? At once, immediately, at hand, available, right? Okay, you were away from school without permission. Go to the principal. That's one Samson, your explanation. Very nice. Good. Yes, madam, but would you help me write it first? Someone like you? Is it? Help me write an application. Are you unwell? No, not at all. Why do you ask? You don't look well. That's why. If you were unwell, I will send it to my uncle. He's a doctor. Almost every Indian film has an episode of love at first sight. Okay. Is that what makes it so popular in foreign countries? You look depressed. Why are your spirits at a low ebb? So when you're feeling very low, when you're not feeling happy, right? Why are your spirits? You're going to use such in the phrase. At such a low ebb. Okay? I have to write 10 sentences using words that I have never heard before. God, I've got terrible homework to do. Your big moment is close at hand. How should I welcome it? Get up and receive the trophy. Now write the noun forms of the following words using A-N-C-E or E-N-C. So generally, like when you make a noun form, like here. So, so different ways of making a noun. Here, one of them is by adding this A-N-C-E. And we know when E comes at the end, we remove it and it is replaced with A. So endure will become endurance. A-N-C. E will be removed. Yes. Persist. A or E? E. Very good. Signify. Significance. Significance. So we'll make it I-C-A, whatever the spelling is. Okay. Confidence. So we don't need to remove this E over here. Confidence. Maintain. A or E? A. Okay. Abhor. Abhor something. What is abhor? You hate something. Okay. And what about the spelling then of this one? Abhor will become single R or double R? Single R. Generally, when you have R, M, P, L, S, double capitals. Okay, fine. Now match the words with the meanings. What is here? Look at these words. They're going to match them. Remote means far away from. So, do you know online learning is also called as remote teaching? How? You are student here. So I'm in the class here. You are there. Is this remote learning now? It's remote learning for the people at home? Yes. Means methods. Okay. Dominant. Yeah, dominant is someone who's very powerful, right? And be dominated here is to be overcome or overpowered. Formidable. Don't you think it's opposite? Is it opposite? Dominant trait. A powerful trait. A formidable opponent. Overwhelmed. They're also similar. What is remote? Means, methods. Now, dominant is most prominent. Is it? Dominant is to be overcome, maybe overpowered. Actually, it should be dominate, not dominant. Okay. So formidable, most formidable, and overwhelmed, difficult to overcome, so overwhelmed by the whole experience. Okay, fine. Let's see now. There were dash obstacles on the way, but we reached our destination safely. They were dominant. Dominant means what? We have no dash of finding out what happened there. We have no means. Okay. Why he lives in a house remote from any town or village is more than I can tell. Dash by gratitude, overwhelmed by gratitude. We bow to the speaker for his valuable advice. The old castle stands in a formidable. And first is no, it's the other way. A is formidable and E is dominant. Dominant hota highlight, एक very quality, okay? Yes. Now we have speaking and writing. We're going to write a composition describing a visit to the hills. I'm thinking of a composition for you all. Just wondering what all I have to give you, or any other place which you found beautiful before writing. So if you have to describe, yes, you are you going to pick up words from the chapter? How is this text going to be helpful in describing the visit to the hills? So we can have, let's just have a speaking composition. Consider the sentence, mountains are a means of communion with God. Think of the act of worship of prayer. You believe yourself to the presence of the divine power. Imagine the climber on top of the summit, the height attained, limitless sky above, the majesty of the mountains. Okay, right here we are going to write a diary entry. We are going to write a diary entry. Question is, we're going to imagine many of us have not even left our homes in the past 1.5 years. Anybody's been anywhere during this time? Been on a vacation? You're brave enough to go on a vacation? No? Yes? Okay. So write a diary entry. You can say you. How many copies do you have? And when I give you these writing skills, I can give you a letter to write. I can give you a diary entry to write. Don't say, ma'am, this is not in our syllabus. So this is a part of your exercise. I can give you any of the writing skills that you have discussed. Okay. So right here, so you visited a hill station. With your cousin. You visited a hill station with your cousin during the vacation. You had an extended vacation. Okay, right? You were overwhelmed. Just written that spelling. Read it. You were overwhelmed by the beauty of the place and the wonder of nature. Write a diary entry not only describing your experience, but not only your experience, but the feeling of communion experience, but the feeling of, or you can say the communion with God and nature. It's a very simple diary entry. I'm just making it difficult. Okay? Yes. Of what's the question? What did I say the last line? Yes, Jen, repeat it. Describing your experience, but your communion with God and nature. Now, what are you going to write in this? Please don't say, dear diary, I have to climb the mountain, so I'll write next time. We're not ending like this. You've had a beautiful experience, okay? You're going to think back upon it, you're going to reflect on it, and you're going to write it, okay? So here it is not only about the experience that you're going to write, you are going to talk about your feelings. What does a diary entry majorly focus on? Feelings. Because I don't write a diary entry every day. Right? Diaries are not necessarily written every day unless and until you are someone, like who loves talking to his or her diary. Is there anyone here in the class who likes to write diary entry? Once in a while? No? Once in a leap year? Yes, once a leap year we write. Okay, otherwise we never write. Isn't it? We are not that kind. What is the problem you have to write? There's so much we can do online. In that time, when we write a diary, is it? Yes. So we know what writing is a very beautiful form of communication. It is definitely going to help you. You're able to. Sometimes what happens, people who are not very talkative, they're not able or not really, able to express themselves. They're able to do so. So what are we going to write in this diary entry? You're going to write your visit, where you went, the place, all the things you saw. Right? But here this time, you did not just see the physical beauty around you. What happened to you? What happened to you? You had a beautiful experience because you appreciated this wonderful nation. Right? And of course, yes, you thank God for having this opportunity to see this glimpse of His creation. Will you be able to write it? I want a beautiful diary entry to take 2 days. Make your notebooks ready by Monday. Any problem?